Hello everyone, it's Kelly from Black Thread Studio. Welcome back. I think it's been a long time. I think it's been way too long. So let's think back. It was probably the end of January when I was here with you, and I think, let me just update you a little bit. I was so excited because I was going to take Fridays off of work, and I thought that could be my Black Thread Studio day. Well, I'm not taking Fridays off work. So hopefully that's still my goal. So right now that's not going to happen. So that set me back a little bit. But I want to tell you that I am so ready to share with you all the yo-yos. As far as I know, all the yo-yos are in for Bring More Flowers quilt. So let me just jump back. If you are new, just welcome. And go back in not too far, probably January, and catch up. We are working on a quilt. I say we, I am doing it. If you guys want to do it too, that is absolutely wonderful. But I am doing it with you. I really want your feedback. I'm kind of struggling for some of the decisions on this one. I don't know if it's because I have too much pressure on myself to want it to be just right, because I've been thinking about it for a couple years, and because now that I have all your yo-yos, I just want it to be fantastic. So we'll go through that. We're going to look at Bring More Quilts today. I'm going to kind of do, you know how they do WIPs? Well, like a WIP parade in the floss tube, which I love to watch, by the way. Unfortunately, I'm just not having enough time to cross stitch lately, but today we're going to do a yo-yo parade. I'm going to show you all the yo-yos that I got, so you can sit back and relax. If it's getting too long and you don't want to go through all the yo-yos, then you can jump ahead to the end and kind of see where I'm at and try to figure out, help me with some ideas on how I'm going to do this. But before we jump into the yo-yos, let me tell you, well, today's March 10th, 2024. It is absolutely beautiful outside. It's still cool, but it's sunny, and I'm getting so ready for spring. And we sprang ahead last night. So we are in daylight savings. Do you still call it daylight? Yeah, you do. Anyway, we sprang ahead. So we lost an hour, but we're going to have an hour more light tonight, which is so exciting. Getting to the time when Jim and I will get the convertible out of the garage and start doing our nightly rides, which are so fantastic. It just feeds my soul. So anyway, before we talk about Bring More Flowers and talk about the yo-yos, I thought I would talk to you just a little bit about storage. I think I have shown you guys these bags before, but in trying to gather all my Bring More Flowers things, I was thinking that I had them someplace that, like, where did I put those? But anyway, I was trying to make it a lot more difficult, and then I realized, oh, good job, Kelly, duh. I put them all in these storage bags. So when I organized, if you go back, there is a video where I showed you guys how I was organizing my quilts that I was working on. Well, I've broken that down into more smaller bags. So let me just jump ahead and show you. I love all the project bags they're showing. I love them. I think they're so beautiful. I did make a couple for myself. This one was from a vintage star block that I found. I have a few more of them. Anyway, it's a bag I did, but I think I've shown this one before too. I did not do a good job on the zipper, so it only only zips to here, but I don't even know what I have in this one. Oh, I need to get this out. Phoebe Mead by Needlework Press. Okay, so anyway, in lieu of taking the time to make these, or, you know, unfortunately spending a lot of money on them, which they are worth it, and if you have fun with them, I support that all the way. I also support, if you just want to do these bags from Amazon that you can get in bulk. And I started out with this size for my cross stitch, that I'm putting in this perfect little size. My goal is to go through and tag each one with a cute tag and write what is in each bag. So that's how I started. Then I went to these really big bags to do my quilts. So for each quilt project I have all the fabric and everything. I just want to see what this one is. This one is, oh, you know what this one is? Oh, you guys, should I take it out? This was, do you remember when I was doing my, okay, I'm 63, when I was doing my 60th birthday quilt? This is all the fabric that I was doing in my color is, which is citrine. Okay, so anyway, every project I have, if it's a bigger project, oh, I need to get this back out, don't I? Remember we were doing the Quilt As You Go blocks? That was another one. And then we're quilting as you go. So piecing it together and then piecing it in the back. And I was using all one fabric in the back. You know, some of this, I mean, you guys know some of this stuff went by the wayside just because my life turned upside down with Sam, and I'm getting back. So I would be so excited to get this one back out. Oh, look at that one. Okay, there's one more here, so let's see. Anyway, that's how I organize all my projects. Oh, this one has a little hexie in the middle. And I was hand quilting as I go and then attaching those together. So, okay, that will come back out to play sometime. Sometime. Wouldn't it be nice if it came out soon? Anyway, I'm using those big bags to organize my bigger quilts until they get that, until I get them that far. What I decided to do was buy more of this size. So as you can see, I put all the fabrics that I was working on for Bring More Flowers are in here. I have a little pouch with some extra yo-yos. So not only did I get this size, I got there was a whole array of sizes that you could get, and I bought the bundle. So I have been using these like mad, and I really like it because I can keep myself organized. I can see, let me show you if I can. I've got them all. So those are lined up on my shelf. Those are all the smaller projects I'm working on. And then my bigger bags with the quilts on them are on a big shelf unit that's down in the basement. So anyway, I'm really, really happy with this system. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. So, okay, in that, I didn't realize I should have used a bigger pouch, but they were all being used. These are all the yo-yos that I received. As I got them, I put them in here, and I thought I did photograph each one, and I hope everyone felt the heartfelt thank you in me receiving these. It was beyond what I thought I would feel when I got them. It was so special. And if you don't mind, I'm going to go through these, and I really want to acknowledge everyone who made a yo-yo and tell you their name. And I'm going to tell you how I'm going to put them on the quilt, how I'm going to recognize each one. So if you don't want your name on the quilt, please let me know. No one said that to me. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it. My plan is to put your name and last initial, and then you know what? I just decided this. I think on the back, because I was going to put where you're from too, but I think I'll just put your name with your name. I'm just going to put your name. And then on the back, I'll make a fabric label that has everyone's full name and where you're from, and that will be on the back. I think that's a good idea, don't you? Because then I'll show you how I was going to do it. That will limit because I had a limited space of how much I could write on how I'm going to do it. So I'll show you that in just a second. But before I show you the yo-yos, let me show you where I'm at with the quilt. I haven't really done anything else to it without you, but I do have things laid out a little bit, and I'm stuck. I am really stuck to see, oh, I need this fabric to show you guys, to see if I'm going in the right direction. Again, usually I just wing it and do it. This one, it's fine. It's fine if it's taken me a little bit longer and I'm trying to figure it out. And I really appreciate and would love your input, because I would love to get this done and have it hanging at the Great Wisconsin Quilt Show in September. So I have to look and see when when the submissions have to be in. And I would love it to be something that when people look at it, they feel and see the love of the quilt, of me making it, but also all of you that participated, and the idea when people read about the quilt that everyone participated in the yo-yos. You know, what a lovely community humankind is. I was gonna say, I mean, humankind, how we can just all be there for each other. So I guess I'm trying to relay some of the and show some love and kindness that I've gotten over the last few years. So all right, I am going to, this was the fabric Sam picked, if you remember that. I had a different fabric, and I was down in the basement looking, and I had a different fabric picked out, and I literally heard Sam go, "No, Mom, that one." And I looked, and this was underneath, just a little piece of it was sticking out underneath some other fabric, and I grabbed it. And I was like, "This one?" It was like, "Yep, that one." So let me turn you. I'm going to bring you to the design wall. I've got my ironing board in the way, so I might have to move it out for a minute. So this is where I'm at. It's been up on the design wall, but I did add that big Kafe facet fabric I am going to use as the border. I think I'm going to use my gingham check here as the binding. I didn't know how big it was going to be. My Bring More Flowers, if you can see it up there, I started embroidering that just as a pillow for myself. I actually made one like that for Jill, my brother's girlfriend, who hosted Sam's celebration gathering. If you haven't seen that, you guys should go back and look at the picture of the lake of the morning that she took. It's absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, I made her a pillow, and I started that one, and I found it, and I thought, well, wouldn't that be perfect to put on this quilt? I thought I was going to put it on the bottom here. And when I had it down there, Jim came in and was looking at it with me, and I just felt like, you know, it's too small to go on the bottom. If I was going to plan that ahead, I would have done Bring More Flowers a lot bigger embroidery. So, do you know, I'm hanging to this camera and I can't see what I'm doing. So I'm going to try to set you down here so I can actually point and show you what I'm talking about. So, so I did put it up there, but I'm also thinking, what do you think if I border that? I'm just going to stand up on the chair. I don't think you guys want to see me stand up on the chair. Border that underneath and sew it to there. I mean, do a whole border around and leave that up there. And then this darker will go all the way around. And I don't know what I'm thinking. I guess I was thinking originally that there would be a border going around that was a little bit more solid, that I could put all the yo-yos around that I received. But as you see what I received, they're not all the same size, and I mean, they're all going to match because they're all, you know, flowers. So they're going to be beautiful on here. But they're all kind of different colors. So I thought it would be better just to keep growing the yo-yos all the way up. And I think I'll grow them all the way up into the Bring More Flowers embroidery. So these are just some extra little teeny yo-yos that I think I'm gonna, you know, add as I place things in here. And just as a reminder, as I get yo-yos, this is some embellishment that I'm gonna do, you know, where I will, you know, kind of do feather stitch. I don't know if I'm gonna do beading. I'm trying to really figure out what I'm gonna do. But anyway, I wanted you to see this. So as I'm showing you the yo-yos, you guys can picture with me and tell me what you think. The other thing is I found this. This was from 2020 during COVID. I think it was the first thing that I made the first week I was off of work. And it says love, love, healing, and change in 2020. What do you guys think about? I never did anything with this. Do you guys think that if I actually cut it out in the heart shape and just applique on, you know, somewhere down in the border, you know, when we get that far, I guess it will be, you know, I thought it would carry in through the black and white. I thought about adding it on just down here, but I don't know about that either. Can you see my dilemma? Okay, I will tell you, as I get these set where I want them, this is what I'm doing. These are just pinned up here. But like this one, this little teeny one, I'll just show you how I'm going to do it, which I've done with all these so far. This was a little teeny, I think is that half inch hexes maybe, that my friend Rita did for me. And it's just raw edge. She was doing a whole quilt in those, and she was kind enough to give that to me. Look at the colors with Sam's quilt. So as I decide, and I'm not going to be real picky, or what do I want to say? I was going to say literal, but that's not the right word. You know, if I like it, like this clamshell, I'm going to embellish around it here because it's so plain, but I really want things to overlap. So as I do, I'm just using my unique stitch glue and just doing a little dab to get it where I want it. Like these that are pinned, I haven't decided for sure, but these are all on with glue. That way when I come in, these are actually stitched already, stitched. As I go in and stitch them, it's just a lot easier without all the pins. So that's what it's looking like so far. And why don't we go over and sit back down, and then I'm gonna go over the yo-yos with you guys so you can see them up close and personal. And before we do that, I'll show you my idea. So don't be shy, I guess, about going to the thrift stores and getting what you can and using it. I have found that it started when I was looking for certain fabrics for my hexes that I was doing, and I couldn't find the real fabric. I just put that in my water. I couldn't find fabric that I wanted, but I found the perfect man shirt. And what I do, now I'm looking for anything. But what I was doing was going to the men's like extra large or extra large, because then you get a lot more fabric. But you know, even the thrift stores are starting to, I mean, shirts used to be like $3.99, $4.99, even $2.99. Now they're $7.99. So it has to be a good one. It has to be a good fabric. But I did find a good one. So this was a man's extra large Izod shirt. And what I'm doing on all of these that I'm saving is I am literally just cutting all these buttons off and then saving them in my jar. I have a couple jars, but there you go. So I found this shirt that I loved the colors of it with, here I'll show you because I have the fabric right here. That was the background fabric. I really liked it with that. Even though it's gonna kind of blend in. But what I did is I decided that I was gonna use this for leaves. Okay, I think it's time to bring you guys down. Let's see what I'm gonna do here. Let's bring you down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So I was gonna use this and cut out leaves. And then with the leaves, I'm going to I think I'm just gonna do raw edge applique and let it be messy. You know, kind of tuck them in underneath the yo-yos. And I thought, okay, that will work really nicely. But then what I'm gonna do is, I've been watching a lot of slow stitch on YouTube and I really like that. So what I'm gonna do is, I like this little white fabric that has the little dots on it. So what I thought I would do, I was practicing and I just put Jill's name with Cambridge, but see how long that's gonna be. What I wanna do, I'm just gonna cut that off so I can show you. I think what I'm gonna do is on each leaf, almost as the center vein of a leaf, do that. And then stitch it down. So each flower will have, or each yo-yo will have like a little leaf. I mean, that's not looking exactly. I'll probably make it thinner, a thinner strip. I had one here, but I don't know what I did with it. You know, so almost so it looks like the veining in the leaf, and then have your name on there. So this was cutting out pretty thin. So what I did is I just got a piece of muslin that I actually got at the thrift store, and I used spray-based. I don't know why, but Joann Fabrics is carrying this now instead of the one I was using before. So I just used a spray-based glue and did that, so that when I come in to cut my leaves, and I don't think I want them just all to be kind of different and organic. I'll just cut some out. I'll probably cut them out a little bit longer so I can fit your names on there. And then that muslin also gives the edge a little bit more stability so that it doesn't fray as much. Although I don't mind when it frays, but you know, so I'll just do all kinds of different, I'll do different sizes and then different strips. Let me see if I can get this one a little bit thinner to see what that's gonna look like. And then I'll just use a little bit of my fabric glue to tack that down. Oh, I can't get that off. Anyway, you know, do a little bit thinner strip. Okay, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. Now, are you ready to look at the yo-yos? Okay. Do they show up okay in here? Rearrange you a little bit. I hope everyone's been really well. I've missed you. I really have. Yeah, I've missed you. So it's like I don't like I'm not looking at myself, I'm talking to you. So when I have you down looking at this stuff, I feel like I'm not really talking to you, but I guess I am, because who needs to just see me? So I think what I'm gonna do, you know what, for the fun of it, I'll set this down, because this is gonna be the background fabric anyway that most of the yo-yos will be on. They'll kind of be going over onto that floral edge, but I don't know what I'm doing. I just threw a yo-yo that I was going to show you. Okay, so I am going to bring you down. So I went backwards. Instead of doing the yo-yos first, I showed you the quilt first, which is fine. In my mind, I was thinking I wanted you to see it so that you could picture what I want to do with these yo-yos and the leaves and your names, and help me decide. Oh, there it is. Help me decide. So of all the yo-yos that I've got, my family, my sisters, and okay, besides Jill, my brother's girlfriend, who actually did make me beautiful yo-yos, and I'll show you those. I'll save those for the last. Nobody in my family knows how to make yo-yos. So I told them, okay, so first I told Paige. I started cheating with Paige, because my intent was I really want you guys to make the yo-yos. I mean, if I didn't intend that, then I could have just said, oh, I'm going to make all the yo-yos and load up the quilt. But I really wanted yo-yos made from anyone who wanted to participate. So anyway, my family didn't say they want to participate, but I figured they would. And they don't know how to make yo-yos. So at first I said, I'll provide you the fabric and you guys can YouTube it and see how to make a yo-yo. Well, then I forgot to get them the fabric. So what I'm going to show you right now, right now, is the yo-yos that I picked out to use for my family. And for Paige, my daughter, I told her I have a little yo-yo jar for Hadley and Reed. Very once in a while, I'll send them a yo-yo and have them put it in their jar, or have them make a yo-yo. I would like to pick that back up. My intent was to fill their jar, but that's gotten put by the wayside. So then I told Paige, pick a yo-yo out of the jars for you guys, and send them to me. So that's what she did. Okay, here we go. These are the yo-yos that I received. So let's see what we can show you. I'm trying to make it so that I can see too. I know you guys get tired of this business, but okay, first of all, look at that cute little one. This, and it's already on this little piece of fabric because Hadley made that. That was one of her first yo-yos she made with me. You can see all the little white thread. And I found that in the yo-yo jar. So I decided I'm going to use that one. You know, I might cut that in a circle or just put like a leaf behind it, but that one's definitely going somewhere. Okay, these are the 3 that I picked out of my jar for my mom, my sister Trace, and my sister Deb. Okay, so they each got a yo-yo. This is my bag. If you guys don't, you know, there's a lot in here. If you, I'll try to go pretty quick. So if you want to see them, it'll be fun. And if you don't, then you can just move ahead, because this is probably all the rest that I'm going to do. But I did want to honor and share all the cool yo-yos. So these are the 3 that Paige sent me for her and the kids. She didn't send me one for her husband, so I guess I'll put one on there for him too. So I'm just going to pull these out. They're not in any order as I received them. I was just putting them in here. This one's on top, so I will start with this one. Wow, how fantastic and fun do you think that was to get? Okay, so this, I hope I kept the envelope, the right card. This is from Judy. Judy is on Instagram. I won't read you all the cards, but this was from Judy. Everyone sent really, really nice little messages. I didn't want to take this apart, because it looks so pretty. But Judy is on Instagram at JudyD0712. So if you guys, I guess if you don't, maybe I shouldn't do that because maybe you guys don't want me to. Okay, I won't. I'll just say thank you, Judy. So I'm not going to put a tag or leaf for each one, but I'm thinking what I will do is, so like if Judy, I'll put one leaf, you know, with Judy's name so that I know which ones Judy gave. And then let's just pretend for Judy I use a red bead in the center. Then that will show you that that's Judy's, and Judy's has a red bead. Then all of Judy's yo-yos will have a red bead in the center, and I will know that those all came from Judy. So if there's multiple yo-yos, that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to designate a different color bead for everybody, and they will, all your yo-yos will have the same color bead, or maybe the same button, something like that. Okay, I'm trying to keep these together because I want to be able to put everybody's name on it. So I do have to keep them a little bit in order here. Okay. Oh goodness. Okay, I did cheat for some other friends of mine, Carol, Kathy, and Vanessa. Carol is an old neighbor of ours who lived across the street in our cul-de-sac where we built a house where Paige grew up and Sam was born. It was the longest place we ever lived anywhere. My friend Kathy from high school, who's always so sweet to me and reaching out. And Vanessa, who I actually went to grade school with, middle school. And she was so sweet and said she would love to send a yo-yo, but she did not have a clue. So I cheated for them, and I did a yo-yo for each one of those guys that will have their name on it. Okay, let's see what's in this one. Oh, this one's from Sarah. No, these are from Rox. These are from Rox. Okay, so Rox sent this beautiful card. And if you guys don't know, Rox is my best friend from when we were little, like 11 years old maybe. She did all of these. So let's just say Rox has a pink bead with a leaf, and it says Rox on it. All of these will have a pink bead in the center, and we'll know that those are from Rox. Aren't these fun? And those were a little bit bigger. So I thought I was going to get all the same size, and, you know, it's okay that I didn't. Okay, this is from my friend Heather, who's in Canada. And Heather has been watching me since the beginning. And Heather, I love that you're here with me. So Heather, sweet Heather, she used her special Liberty fabric, and she has watched my videos before and knows that I leave the strings on, and then I pull it through to the back and tie it off, and then I'll just use that string to stitch the yo-yo on. So sweet Heather, with her beautiful Liberty fabric, I love the feel of it, left all the strings on for me. So that was pretty great. Okay. My other longest time best friend, Elaine, and I won't show you her address, but, well, Lahaina, Hawaii. They are part-time in Hawaii and part-time here in Wisconsin. So she sent me this beautiful Hawaiian flavored card and Hawaiian flavored yo-yos. And her girls, these are really special. Her girls, Charlotte and Emma, were good friends with Sam and grew up, I mean, they grew up with Paige too, but Paige was older, so they were more the same age as Sam and grew up with Sam, so those are very, very special. Okay, oh, let me tell you about this one. So, careful not to show anybody's address. So these are from a really sweet guy named Steve, who I went to, I think we probably started in kindergarten together and went all the way through school. And our class was so big. I really didn't hang out with a whole lot of people, but, you know, Steve is Steve. And, you know, just all those memories of knowing somebody for that long. And Steve lives in South Carolina and is just the sweetest guy and reaches out to me all the time with so much support. And he was a firefighter and he recently retired, and he has never made yo-yos before. And look at that patriotic fabric. And Steve made me 2 yo-yos. I mean, doesn't that make you want to cry? Does that make you want to cry? Okay, so, oh, Judy, here's your envelope. Because I got to put that there. I try to keep the envelope so I know everybody's address too. Okay, let's see who's this one. Okay. I really hope to meet you guys someday because, just to give you a hug in person. These are from Myrna. And Myrna is in, is that Montana? Michigan. Where are you? Montana. Okay. Pretty card. So, Myrna, my friend from Instagram, you will have a leaf, and I don't know what color beads I'll put on yours. Maybe teal. Those are Myrna's. And I think, Myrna, did you say you had never done yo-yos before? I think it's fun. I think it's fun that you guys, those of you who haven't done yo-yos and were willing to make them and try them. Okay, Wendy, sweet Wendy. Well, number one, it's the cutest card. We don't have a dog. I would love to have a dog, but Jim won't have a dog. That was so sweet, Wendy. Sweet card. These are Wendy's. I don't know why I feel the need to show you what each one is going to look like with the leaf. But it does give you kind of an idea, doesn't it? Do you guys even think that I should cluster them all together if they came together? Or should I spread them around? There's another question for you. So you guys can let me know. Okay. I really hope these are all intact. Oh, these came from Jim's sisters. Surprised me, and they were the very first yo-yos that I received, and they came on the same day. I was so surprised. These are from his older sister Susan, and her note was so sweet. She did musical theme fabric for Sam because he was into music and writing music and doing some little hip-hop poem kind of songs. I love those. I'll leave those there as I get the other sisters out. So, Jim's sister Jane. Also very, very sweet note. Jane, there's your card. Susan, or Jane, where's your note? Here's Jane's note. Okay. These were from Jane. I haven't counted all these yet, but I have a boatload, don't I, to put on that quilt. So it's going to be exciting. Now, don't worry, because as I'm going to get them, I will show you how I'm going to tack them down after I've used that little bit of glue to keep them in place. I will show you how to tack them down, but then what I'll really share with you is when I embellish them. So let me see what I have here. I kind of started sticking these in. Okay, these are from Elizabeth in Montreal. Oh, she's about 30 minutes from Montreal. I mean, that's so cool. And I guess the thing is, oh look, Elizabeth has a business. Let me tell you about her. Okay, Bygone Days. Here, can you take a screenshot of that? Bygone Days Boutique. That is so fun. What was that? I was saying something. Oh, I can tell you that Sam would be beside himself. Cool, cool, Mom, cool, Mom. Okay, where'd my leaf go? Okay, lost my leaf. There's Elizabeth's Bygone Days Boutique. Okay, I did pretty good keeping this all together, didn't I? I'm trying to get through it so it's not too boring here. Oh, now you guys hear me talk about Cece, the thread gatherer. Cece sent me these, of course, with a really sweet note. As always, she always takes care of my heart and soul needs. Those are from Cece. I'm kind of missing showing the leaf part because that was fun. Okay, where's that other leaf that I cut out? You guys are saying, Kelly, just go on with it. Okay, those were from Cece. Okay. That was another card I got from Elaine, so I don't know if I had two of them. Okay, these are from Colorado. Lori sent me. Isn't that that will be perfect on there. Oh my gosh, look at that card. So when I get done, I think I'm going to put all these cards in one place, so I can keep everything together, because this was just too special. You know, I thought I might get a couple, but you guys really. Okay, so airmail. You guys have heard me talk about Sarah, and Rita. You know what? Okay, let me show you Sarah's first. Okay, here is Sarah's. My beautiful, lovely British friend, who I'm going to meet and hug someday. I don't know if she believes it, but it's going to happen. So those are from Sarah, all the way from Sussex, or Seaford. Let's say Seaford. Those are going in a special spot. And then this was my last post for Jill, my brother's girlfriend, Jill. And I can't tell you the story, but I did post it, so you can go see. But these were for my brother's shirt, and I actually have a picture of that day, and I was going to share it, but I just couldn't do it. So I love those. Thank you, Jill. Okay, so that is, so sorry. That is the roundup of the yo-yos. That's all of them that I did get. That was a lot. That's a lot of yo-yos. So I think what I'm going to do is, I think I will have to sew the border around Bring More Flowers first, and then actually stitch it to the top. And then I can bring the flowers up around that and keep building up. The love heart yo-yo, I would really, really like to incorporate in that. So I'm going to figure that out too. If you guys have ideas, I really would love to hear them. And let me think if there's anything else. That was not too long. I hope that wasn't, I hope you had fun looking at all the yo-yos, because it was fun to get them all. So, that was 45 minutes. What I might do is stop and maybe lay some of these out, maybe get one of them set with somebody's name and leaf on there so I can get it up on the quilt and show you how I'm going to do that. Maybe I'll show you how I'm tacking one down, and then I think what I might do is do one where somebody sent a couple of them so I can show you the beading. I think I'll do that today. I wasn't planning on it, but you know, heck, why not? So let me do that, and then maybe we'll come back and embellish a little of them, a few of them. Okay, I'll see you in a minute. Okay, guys, I'm back with you. What I did was I figured out what width I thought was going to look good to border the Bring More Flowers, and I actually went about the same size as this row down here, but not quite as, kind of in between this row and this row of the smaller flowers and the bigger. I think this one was 3.5 cut, this one was 4.5. I cut this one at 4, knowing that when I sewed it down it would be just kind of in between these two. So what I did first was I measured how much more width I would need to match the width of my middle panel, which I needed 8 more inches on each side, which I sewed on first, and then I sewed the strip along the top and bottom. But what I wanted to show you was that now before I actually start working anymore on it, I could square it up after I get everything sewn on, but I kind of want to see, I don't want to bring anything over on these edges that are going to get cut off. So I just wanted to show you what I'm going to do is, because I already have some yo-yos here and it's kind of bumpy, if you can see, this is my regular edge. This border bumps out a little bit. This border bumps out a little bit. So I'm going to even this up. What I'm going to do to make sure that I'm getting it even is I'm going to line up one of my lines on my seam that I just made here, because I know that's straight. And I'm kind of lining it up against this edge too. So I'm going to line that up right along that seam, and then I've got this edge lined up against the side here. Then I will know, there we go, that's straight there. So look how much I have to cut off, but that's what it is. I wanted it wider. It's always better to make it wider than you need to be, because then you can cut it off. You can't, well, you can add on, but anyway, I'm just going to hold this down, and I just wanted to show you how I was measuring to square that up. So let me do the other side. This time it will actually be facing you, so you can see the pretty Bring More Flowers, and maybe you'll be able to see it a little bit better from this angle, I'm not sure. But I'm going kind of, the edge that I'm concerned about here is, maybe one day. The edge that I'm trying to even up is along the big flowers here. Cut off all that extra. So again, I'm going to I use this top line to base off, so I'll do that again. I'm lining that up here straight, and I'm lining it up on my edge, and I will know that that's what I need to cut off. So it is going to be ready for me to start laying more yo-yos out. Now that I have everything that was loose, that I had laid on here, glued down, I'm going to show you, I'm actually going to do these for you. I didn't mean to leave Rita out when I was showing you the other yo-yos, but I already had hers up on the quilt. So I wanted to show you from my good friend Rita, who now lives locally. When she came to stitch one day, she brought these for me, those 2 yo-yos. And then also that little hexagon that I showed you before that's already on there. So I made a couple little leaves and I made a little Rita tag. Now I just ripped that piece of muslin. I have 2 permanent fabric markers here. I thought this is the one I grabbed and I thought it was black. And then when I wrote her name out, it's blue, which is no big deal. It goes, but I think for all of them, I'm going to be using the black permanent real fine tip fabric marker. So I'm going to show you how I'm just going to tack these down. I'm going to do a buttonhole stitch around the leaves edge. And, well, you'll be happy to know, look what I figured out. I have you set up on a table, but you guys, were you following me when I made my fabric weight? I have the set at the base of you guys on the stand, so hopefully I figured out how you won't tip over. I'm pretty excited about that. So okay, let's get to stitching a little bit. I did talk about this a little bit ago, but I didn't actually show it to you guys in full. I found this box, it was under $20. It might have been like $12 or something. I don't remember now, but I know it was under 20 at a thrift store, and it has a sweet little scripture on the top. Go home to your family and tell them how much the Lord has done for you. And Jim revamped it for me. I mean, it was in really, really good shape. Jim revamped it and just added these little strips of wood. I could have had him stain them or paint them, but it's not that big of a deal to me. I just wanted it done. So he cut them to size and glued them in. And as I work on my big basket of junky floss and get everything wound, I'm still using these paper floss things. I do like them with the holes because I can still put them on a ring. Although I do have all my others over here. Some of them on floss drops. I really like these. I'm gonna like stirring them in here, but I will tell you they are making the cardboard so thin now that it's irritating me. I have seen on Etsy where some companies, some are making these out of plastic, and I think as time goes on I'll slowly invest and get those switched over to a real plastic. But there's some of my floss. I hope to have that all the way organized. But what I did someday, what I did is I went through and I actually was trying to decide if I wanted to do my buttonhole stitch for this and you know, something that was gonna contrast or blend. So what I picked was, this is actually, I am gonna use DMC on this quilt. I love CC's silk threads, but I think for this, because it's going to be washed, I know that the DMC are color fast. Excuse me. I'm going to use DMC. And for most of the embroidery on here, I think I'm going to use 3 strands. I usually do 2, but I think I'll use 3 just because it's going to be bigger and bulkier. I happen to pick DMC 501, and I'm going to do that with the button stitch. I thought that Rita's yo-yos were so colorful, I didn't want to take away from it by putting another color around here. So right now I'm just going to have that buttonhole blend. Then when I do these, I am just using kind of, oh, it's almost like a grayish green, just something real neutral. I usually try to match, I'm trying to think if I match the yo-yo or the background on these. Should I go back and look and see? I think for almost all of them, just like as in English paper piecing, I'm kind of using a grayish color so that it blends with anything. So, okay, here we go. I did want to show you this one too because I kind of tucked this one in, and that's why I have not stitched all of these down. This one I just glued on and stuck in, but now I had room to kind of tuck these underneath so that they're going to overlap a little bit. and then when I stitch that down. So I don't want to stitch these down until I'm absolutely sure that I'm not gonna kind of layer anything underneath it. So, okay, let's stitch. I was trying to decide if I'm going to start by stitching down the leaves first or the yo-yos. These are already sitting on top. I kind of know where I want them. I'm actually going to start by stitching the yo-yos down, and then I'll be able to do the decorative stitch just up to where I need to. So this one's actually, oh, I think I wanted this one underneath that to cover up some of that pink. The one that's underneath I'm going to stitch on first. So when I do my yo-yos, I use a double thread because if I'm going to all that work to stitch them on, I want to make sure that they're going to stay. So double, and I do my granny's knot. This is how my gram told me. You pinch it, wrap it. I usually do 3, 1, 2, 3. Well, sometimes I get a feeling, so that one was 4. Then I'm pinching the needle and holding that thread, and I'm going to pull that up while I hold that all the way down. I'm holding it all the way down the thread as I pull it tight, and then I'll get down to the very end, and I've got my little, oh, where is it? There it is, my little quilter's knot. So I do cut my little tails off. Okay, so I think it will be a little bit awkward, and I want you to be able to see, but I am working with a bigger piece of fabric, so that, you know, that does cause a little bit of an issue. And I'm just gathering as much fabric in my hand as I can. This is still loose, it's just tacked on with glue. I know this one's going to go underneath this one, so I'm just going to come up underneath. Now, if that thread was still attached, like those that I showed you Heather sent, I could just be bringing that thread from underneath here and put it on my needle. I'm catching kind of the corner. It's almost like, you know, when you do that little blind hem stitch. Now, if you were going to see that, I'd want to make sure that my knot was hidden underneath. But what I'm going to do is go underneath. I'm taking a little bite of the background fabric, and then I'm going to come up. I'm not going to come up in front. I'm not going to come up on, just a little bit behind that fold. Whoops, could you even see that? I'll do it again. Okay, I'm going to take a little bite, come up, now I like my yo-yos to look puckery, so I pull them tight and kind of gather as I stitch. You don't have to go, you know, too close. You know, just doing a nice little, I don't know, 1/4 inch in between. I don't want you guys frustrated, so I'm going to move you just a little bit different angle, so maybe you can see. Okay. Now I can't see to see if you can see. So I'm just going to stitch all the way around and talk to you guys and hope that you can see. So if you have any questions about this at all, you know, please let me know. If you like how it's looking, or, you know, if you're as excited as I am, let me know that too. So I'll tell you, I'll just be honest with you, the hardest part of doing this is trying to film this and make sure that you guys are in a position to see just all my you know, my bosoms and my stomach, because I think that's where I usually hold my sewing, but I'm not going to do that for you guys. That's not pleasant for anyone. Okay, so I'm just manipulating the fabric around, getting as much as I can into my hand, but you can see I don't have any pins there, so I don't have any pins sticking me or getting in my way. I am just, what do you guys call this stitch? I know there's a name for it. I always just called it a blind running stitch. And it doesn't take very long to go around. As a matter of fact, I think the more I sew them on, the less patience I have. I think my stitches get bigger in between. So I'm almost all the way around. And then what I'm going to do, but as can you see how it's getting that nice little cute puckered look to it? If you don't like that puckered look, I don't know if you can see that one is sewn a little bit flatter. I didn't pucker it up as much. This one, well, it is doubled fabric, but you can see I gathered this one more and wanted it to stick out a little bit. So you do have the ability to control that a little bit, I guess, just by how tight you pull your running stitch through that yo-yo. You know, if you want to pull it. Now watch. See how that's gathering? I won't pull it that tight, but you can see how that gathers. Or if you just want to let it loose like that. I think I pull it tight because then you don't see the stitches as much, but this will tell you. What I was trying to figure out is, I guess you want to match the color of the yo-yo if you don't want to see that. So I'm coming up underneath where this one's going to be stitched on. So I'm finishing off all the way around the circle on that one. If the other one was already on top, I wouldn't have to go. It's going to be tacked down anyway. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to come up on that edge. I'm actually holding this the wrong way. I've got to flip it. Just because I'm right-handed, I'm going to go around this way. So I'm just going to stitch that right on to that other yo-yo, and then when I get off the yo-yo, I'll skip down and then start stitching it onto the background fabric. So I decided, I think I'm going to try to do, since I don't have my Fridays off, I think I'll try to for sure do YouTube at least once a month and have you guys come along with me on this. And if I'm only going to be doing it once a month, I'm definitely going to bring back From Shirley's Cottage on every episode, shall we call it. I didn't do that today. I have them all in a bin. I really need to get them organized. I've been saying that for 20 years. Now I am just stitching. I wonder, I think what I'm going to tell you that I should have done and that I'm going to do is, I don't use very much of this, and there's some other like little applique glues, but I want that tail down so it doesn't pop up. So I'm just going to put a little dab of glue there. This dries really quick and holds. I think I'll do the same thing with the other little leaf point. So I put just a little bit of glue on those. I'm going to just push it down so they kind of stay in place. The thing is, when you're gluing something to tack it and then you're going to applique or stitch something down, you don't want to be stitching over that glue. So I try to put it in a place where I know I'm not going to be stitching. So that is holding that a little bit better. Now what I'm having trouble with is that when I cut this leaf out of that shirt, I wanted to see kind of that stitching. So this was out of the front band of the shirt where the buttons were, and it's a little bit thicker. So I'm going through a couple different layers. So this would be going all the way around. And I feel like I don't have that much farther to go. Otherwise I could stop and we could do the button stitch. But I'll just keep going. I don't know if you guys can hear, our neighbors are mowing, which is early. It's only March, but it's also a great sound. I hope it's not bothering you, but it makes me feel like, that actually makes me feel like summer's coming, not just spring. That's kind of early to be mowing, don't you think? Yeah. Okay, I'm coming around. So I'm trying to think if there's anything personal that I could share with you guys. I can tell you that my niece Jade is getting married on March 23rd, so a couple weeks, which is exciting. Her and Yanni have been together for 8 years, and we kind of thought it was never, I mean, we knew they were going to be together forever. We just have been waiting for the official part of it. That's my niece who's marrying Giannis, who is Greek, and I'm working on that Tetelestai. It is finished, that cross stitch. I'm trying to remember, was that Quaint Rose Needleworks? I started that for them because Tetelestai, I believe, is Greek and means it is finished, which are the last words that Jesus spoke on the cross. It is finished. Okay, so I got to the point where that meets up. So I'm actually going to kind of just tie it off on itself. See how I knotted around that? I might do it one more time and kind of hide it down in there. Whether it was one or these stacked, I would still do the same. Kind of tie it around and hide it in that edging. And now I'm going to poke it through to the back. I mean, there's no way this is ever going to come out because I am now going to tie it off on itself in the back. Whoops. And I'll go around a couple times. Okay, let's see what those look like. Those are on. And I'm going to show you now, let's do a buttonhole stitch. I think I will do just this, I'll start down here and show you, but I don't know if you want to see the whole thing. But I will start that and then I'll finish it and then show you when it's done. So let's at least get it started. So if you are using DMC, I'm going to use 3 strands. You know, you can, I started, sometimes I'll just pull them apart like that if they're going to come apart easy. The best way to do it so that they don't get tangled is to pull them out individually. And I've heard that that's better anyway. If you pull them out individually, the threads will lay nicer together. So there's one. Do you see what I'm doing? Just separate those out. There's 2. And I'm laying them down the same way I'm pulling them off. So that's the way I'm going to thread it on the needle. And 3. I'm going to use all 3 of those. And I'll just gather them back up together. I do use beeswax, not all the time. The one that I'm using is getting dried out because I just leave it by my chair all the time. Okay, I've got those. And I'll show you how to do the buttonhole stitch. Get those a little bit better off. I was going to show you too. These are my favorite needles. You know why? I mean, there are certain size needles that you can use that are better for different things. But this number 24 DMC, I just like the DMC. They're inexpensive chenille needle. It has a nice eye on it. So I can go from just stitching on the yo-yo with regular thread to using 3 strands of floss on that without having to change my needle. It's nice and pointy. It's just a good basic all-around needle. So that would be my favorite go-to. That threaded so easily. Okay, so we're going to do 3 strands. I'll do the little quilter's knot, and then I'll see if I can hang on to this in a way that I can do the buttonhole stitch. 1, 2, 3. I'm kind of into the 4 winds today. I don't know why, because usually I do uneven numbers. That's a little bit knotted. One of those little strands. I'm just going to pull that out with the needle and cut that off. I sure hope you guys can see this, because I can't see. Okay, where's my leaves at? As soon as I get this done, I'm gonna put it up on the wall with that top band sewn on so I can see it. I didn't even look at it after I showed it to you guys. I just kept it that way. Okay, I could come from underneath, but there's a lot of fabric to manipulate. I'm right-handed. You can go either way. I think I used to go left-handed, and I start going to the right with my buttonhole, and I think it looks better. So I'm just going to tuck my knot up underneath. Okay, I think I was supposed to start at the top. I think I was supposed to start at the top. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to bring this down. I'm trying to remember how I did that. Okay, I just brought that down. Okay. Goodness gracious. Okay. I have to move you, I think, so you can see. Okay, I'm coming up at the top. I'm going to come straight down, and I'm going to bring it up my needle just to the very left of this thread. Do you see that? I'm going to bring it up. I think I did it wrong. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this because of that raw edge. I feel like I should do that again. What I'm realizing, you guys, is this isn't going to be a good example to show you because the thread is just blending in. So I came on the left-hand side of this, and then I'm just going to space this over and come up on the edge and leave my thread behind, and that will catch. And it's not what I wanted to show you. Because you can't even see the thread. I'm going to, this is okay, it's going to tack it down and it's going to be secure. I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do? I think what I'm going to do to show you that buttonhole stitch, forgive me, I'm gonna flip over and come to Rita's Little Flower, and we'll do it. So let me take a minute to decide what color floss I'm gonna use. That's gonna get tucked up underneath there, and then I'll come back and we'll do the little buttonhole stitch there. Okay, I'm back, and we're going to buttonhole stitch around this little hexie. This is the one that Rita did. It's a 1/2 inch, I believe. So we're going to do a buttonhole. I went in to my little box there, and I found this pink. I chose that so it would show up, and I thought it would tie in good with this pink one and the ribbon down here. I did like the blue, but I knew that that wasn't going to show up the way I wanted it to show you guys this. I'm using the DMC Pearl Floss. These are number 5. And let's try this. I'm gonna go across the top and then maybe down one edge so you can see how I'm gonna do it. This is awkward for me to hold. Well, buttonhole stitch I have to concentrate on anyway, but especially when I'm not really looking at it head on and I'm trying to show it to you guys. So I'm coming up on the top, just right on the edge of where I'm going to start on that point. I did my quilter's knot and my floss. So I'm going to come down about as long as I'm going to want my little legs on my stitch. And I am, for this first one, I'm coming up just to the left of that. And that's going to be my little anchor to start, where I'm going to pull over. Now somebody else might do this different, where I'm going to pull and it's going to make that go across the top. So what I normally do, there's so much fabric here, is, you know, kind of anchor that with my thumb. But because of the angle I'm at, I'm just gonna, so I'm gonna try, I don't care if they're uneven or not, but I will try to space them, see how far apart I want, maybe about like that, where you see the needle. Come up right on the edge. And you'll see some people like wrap the thread back. I just like to lay it down, and then I know I'm coming up right on top of it. Whoops. My thread got stuck on my bracelet. So I'll show you as that comes, then you can pull it. See how you're gonna pull it and it makes that they call a blanket stitch. That's why I like to just keep it laid over to the side. I'll do that again. I'm gonna come down on the bottom, come back up, lay my floss behind, pull that, and as I pull it, I'm gonna kind of set it where I want it and tug it to the right. So this will be a good judgment call, because as I'm going across, I can see that each one of these should have like three, I'm gonna call them rails, 3 rails on it. So I'm gonna come down, come up right on that corner in front of my floss, pull that into the position I want, okay? Then as I'm gonna go around the corner, it seems to me that just one is gonna work to fit here on each corner. So what I'm gonna do is come down and come up right on that corner, and hopefully that's gonna tack that corner down. I'm getting caught on a lot of yo-yos and stuff, so you can imagine if there was pins in here, what it would be like. Okay, let's come up around this edge. These are cut a little bit. You know, I'm not gonna worry about if they're the same, because this one I feel like needs a rail right in the middle here to tack that down, because that side's a little bit wider than the other one. So I'm gonna go there. And then here on the edge. So if you've been with me, you know that I don't care if things are perfect, and if you do, I think that's great. I'll let you figure out how many need to be on that side. But I do think on this big edge, if it works out, 3 are going to fit nicely across that top edge. I think since these are handmade, Rita did these all by hand. She doesn't use English paper piecing. She cuts them all by hand. They're not, I can see that they're not all the right exact same size. So it's not gonna be the same amount of stitches. It just isn't, because it's handmade. Are you guys liking that? So this is easier than I thought it would be, doing it at an angle with you. I'll do this one here to finish off in the corner, and then I will go stitch the rest of it on my own, and then I'll come back and show you, okay? I will probably, she made this raw edge. I'm not going to care about these raw edges. I might come in and snip some of those off. The other option would be if you wanted a cleaner edge. I was going to show you that, but I might as well show you now, as long as we're talking about. If you want a cleaner edge and you do the English paper piecing way, when you take the papers out, I'm going to try to find the one that I already put down, this one. So this one I've already got kind of in place. Let me show you. When I took the paper out, I just had to go back in and kind of press these edges down and then iron them back into place. What I did, now here, I'll do this one because it's fully stitched together. What I did is I left the center paper in just to give it more stability. Now, I will do this again sometime because I love English paper piecing. I'll show you again. I do the glue basting method, and the way I do it, it seems like it unwraps really, really easy, kind of in a counter or in a clockwise. So if you just start peeling, like I said, in a counterclockwise, I can loosen all that easy and get my paper out, and then it will all lay back down, and you'll be able to see where that original fold was. Did you see that? Then I'll have to come in and just iron that down. So let me show you again. The way I fold it, I'll do this one because you don't even have to start on the end. You just start with the one that's like a top flap. Do you see that? I have two of them that are a top flap. You can start with either one and just start unfolding it. That actually comes out really easy. And then it'll take a little fiddling and finagling, and you can see where the original press points were, and then you just come back in, and then at the very end take out the center one. Then you'll have the finished edges if you want to stitch it down. So some of those will be that way. Actually, all my big ones will be that way. The one that Rita did for me is going to be the only raw edge one. I liked how she did it. I thought it was just really sweet and cute. So let me finish this up, then I will show it to you, and we're going to take a look at it back up on my design wall so we can just get a really good look at it. I'm almost done, and I'm having a little bit of trouble with these last few stitches, and I will tell you why. Because I'm hitting glue underneath right here. I put glue a little bit too close to the edge, but we're almost done. And what I think is really sweet about this one, whoops, sorry about that. What I think is really sweet about this one is how the floss is variegated. I knew it was looking at it, but I guess I didn't realize it was going to be that sweet and cute. So once again, I got around pretty quickly, but now I'm struggling a little bit because I'm trying to get to where you can see it a little bit. So a couple more stitches. And then I'll show you how to finish off that very end one so that it looks like it's part of, you know, so it's not just an abrupt finish. Okay, so I have just enough room, I'm gauging just enough room between this one and this one. So I'm going to bring my floss over the top, and I'm going to anchor it right down on the inside of that top edge. and pull it just like that. So to tie it off, I'm going to come from behind, and I have that little knot there that I started with, and I'm just going to tie it off on itself a couple times, loop it around, and then I'll cut that off. Now, do you guys remember too, when I first started this, how I added this muslin in the back? I'm so glad I did that because it's really making it a lot more secure as I'm stitching all this on. And we won't talk about, remember that I had to cover up and figure out how to fix where I cut the fabric. Do you remember that part? So, okay, let's see this cute, sweet, where'd it go? There it is. So I think I'm going to actually press it a little bit. Just give it a little press. And then I'm going to put it up on the design wall so that we can see what it looks like. Okay, so there it is up on the board. I stuck a few little hexagons and yo-yos up at the top so you can see what it's going to look like. So my vision is that, you know, flowers will just go, yo-yos and flowers will go wander all the way up and around. And then as I get further along, so I'm still thinking about that heart yo-yo thing. That floral on the left would be cut off about like that. It's not going to be, you know, that whole big amount. It would be just little strips like that. And then I want to fit my gingham check, my black and white gingham check back in. I'm feeling like this is really plain right here, and that maybe I should have had more of a separation here, but I think it just looks like that right now because that gives it more of a plain space to fill in with flowers, right? It's kind of a mishmash, but it is just bring more flowers, right, you guys? So it's coming along. I know it will all fit together when it's all done and embellished. It's just a matter of getting it there and having you guys come along for the ride. So, okay, I'm going to work on getting a lot of that tacked down now that you saw how I'm going to do it. I will tell you, I'm not sure about the leaves and the way I have the name on there. I think it's going to stand out too much. If you guys can see right there, Rita's two yo-yos, which I love, but the leaves are okay, but oh, how am I going to do your names? I've got to figure this out. Okay, I'm going to think about that. Next time you see me it probably will be a month because I have family coming and my niece's wedding, and I want to get all these tacked down and then start doing some embellishment and embroidery. And I will do that before we add any more borders on because it's already almost a little bit too big for me to handle, you know, with just stitching by hand. It's getting a little bit too big. Okay, do you see that sweet little hexie there with the blanket stitch? Thank you, Rita. This would be pretty with a blanket stitch over it too. I might carry that same color over. See the little rabbit? Okay, you guys, I hope you all have a really beautiful day. And, you know, like they say, subscribe, like the videos if you feel inclined. And I'm just glad that you're here to go along on this ride with me. I think it's going to be fun. Okay, bye-bye.